I just hit done instead of record. Oh. All right. Solid. All right, you guys, welcome to Vigilante Podcast, episode 51. We passed the 50 mark. That was a big win.
Okay.
And we're blessed today. We got Frank here today. And then next round should be another good one. So continue to stay tuned. We're only heating up as we continue to roll down the road. Frank, have you ever done one of these before?
It's funny. I just did my first podcast this past Friday.
Really?
So,
Congratulations.
I've been doing a lot of jokes with my wife. I was like, I think I'm going to do this full time now.
Yeah. The gig's heating up. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, man.
We're blessed to have you on. I personally didn't know Frank before this. I was introduced from the Trail Ninja over here, Uncle Corey. And I just kind of I heard a little bit of your story, and I'm so intrigued, man. I'm saying we're blessed to have had you on in the first place. So I'm excited to see what our listeners might be able to get out of your story and
for sure.
Where you came from, where you're heading, even more importantly, and how everything came all about. But what, just for the listeners' sake at the beginning, what brought you to Utah in the first place? Because I know you're not from here.
No, I'm from Colton, California. That's in Southern California. It's about an hour away from LA.
Okay.
About 3 hours away from Las Vegas.
Okay, right.
I grew up there my whole entire life. It's like small town California, it's like small town California.
Gotcha.
And,
so kind of east too.
Yeah.
And middle of nowhere.
It's kind of in that prime location where you're right below the mountains and only 1 hour away from the beach.
Yeah.
And I grew up with a small family, really, tight knit and stuff like that. And I thought I was living in California for forever, man. I had everything, set up,
Yeah.
And then I graduated high school and I met my wife and stuff, and she was in college and she was in the military and stuff, and she just opened my eyes to the possibilities of what you can do as a person. And coming from a small town and just having to accept certain things as, this is how things are going to be, forever.
Right.
And I think that's why I was so drawn to do this podcast with you guys, because that's one thing that you guys talk about a lot. It's about your guys' mindset and about your guys' like who's in your circle.
Yeah.
Whether it's big or it's small or someone that you know or you don't know.
Right.
And I kind of knew growing up that I was different, that I wanted more, but I had no one to look to that was, and not to put them down, but that was reaching, for more. And when I met my wife, we decided to just go like fully all in and live together within 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And since then, we've been together. We've like never taken a break or nothing, and we've been together for 8 years.
That's incredible, man. That's a huge jump that I feel like most people wouldn't be able to say today's day and age. Because especially social media, it's like if you get mad at your significant other, you can hop online and there's 50 other ones right out of the gate. It's like it's a revolving door, and it takes less. I think not maybe less isn't the word. It takes more. Commitment to yourself and to be able to say, I'm not that type of person that I need the rest of these people, because eventually the people you're continuing to spend time with, they become just people.
Mm-hmm.
You start to see the negatives. It's like, just like we talked about in past episodes, it's like, man, they put the dish in this way. They shouldn't have put it. It's like, it's the littlest things that add up.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of power and self-control to be able to do what you just said you did. Like, that's all the commendation to you, boss. Like, that's incredible.
You don't want to put them down. I don't even see it as putting them down. Sometimes people, that's just all they know.
Yeah.
They're not. That's just all. They grew up that way.
Yeah. They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And you can't blame them. You can't be mad at them for it, because they're not reaching for their dreams. Maybe they were never told they could have their dreams growing up.
Yeah.
So they see the celebrities or the big dogs or people succeeding in the area they want to succeed. And you know what? That's just who they are. They've always been that way. They were born that way. They were a born leader.
Yeah.
They were a born winner, whatever it may be. They always have this skill set, instead of saying, oh man,
I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. And they put the work in to do it. So if that's all they had to do is put the work in, put the faith in, that's all we got to make happen, right?
Yeah. And that's, kind of where I want to, explain later on something that I felt very, very, very important at a time in my life where I did decide to make some really big changes. And I didn't always get the most support, from people because like you said, they had their role to play in life. But to answer your question, you asked me how come I'm here in Utah.
Right.
After me and my wife had gotten married, she got pregnant 4 months later, and we had our daughter. And things changed extremely fast.
Right. Yes.
And everything hits you at one time, and you kind of decided to make certain choices. And me and my wife had decided that we wanted to have our family, and we wanted to stand upon things that we were able to build. And it, we had support, but I come from a family where I have my mom. She's a single mom.
Yeah.
My dad has never been in the picture, and I have a lot of respect for her. But she made certain choices in her life where I wasn't able to use her as a crutch. And my wife's family, her dad was in the military and stuff, so they've always lived, super far away. So the one thing that I wanted to be able to achieve was to be able to take care of my family on my own, and give my wife the option to not have to go back to work, which is something that is extremely hard. And I'm sure any person that has kids knows what that takes. Right. So that time I was working at a mill in Fontana, California that makes steel.
Okay, yeah.
And I was basically helping at the mill, and they have these giant cranes that pick up finished steel. So I was operating that all that stuff, and I was doing okay. And my wife was working she was working for the city. She was working for the county of San Bernardino as a child support officer.
Man.
So
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
I lived in LA for a while.
Oh,
so it's like
okay, cool. Yeah.
Every time you drive from here, it's like as soon as you hit San Bernardino, traffic.
Yeah.
It's like you're clear, you're golden. San Bernardino, just kidding, you're stopped. And I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's where the first McDonald's was. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's what the movie The Founder. That movie's fire. If you guys haven't seen that movie, definitely go check it out because there's a lot of
you talk about fail.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah. And San Bernardino, I mean, it's pretty open information. It's probably one of the worst places in the whole entire U.S. To live because of the level of just extreme poverty, which I didn't come from poverty, but I was lower middle class and stuff, and I didn't have a lot of the same help that my mom had and some of my other family had because they were all working, right? And I was trying to figure things out, and I was looking for jobs. I was looking for careers. I didn't go to college. I started working when I was 15 and a half, and I had, I just never stopped. That was something that was and there was no one in my family that went to college. Yeah. So as soon as I met my wife, and she was going to college on her own, and she had applied, for her own tuition, and did all that stuff. I was so it was so new to me. It was so foreign to me that I just wanted it. I wanted to be a part of it, and I was able to support her all through college, and we're at a place together. And then she finished college, and we got married, and we had this ball that was building. It was in momentum, and it was extremely effective. Yeah, I'm that type of person where I'm extremely expressive. If I want something, if I want it, if you mention that you're into something, I'm gonna follow up with it. Right. Because I like having a good time. I like having friends, and I like surrounding myself with people that think like me. Yeah. And for a long time, I didn't think right. Yeah. I didn't make the best best choices and stuff.
No,
so
what great accountability to have, though.
Yeah.
I mean, most people, it takes a lot of humble pie to be able to get to the point where you're like, I wasn't thinking right. Like that's huge. Most people, it's easy to put the blame on somebody else. It's easy to say, well, these people have what I want, but the same type of thing, an excuse.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's us.
Yeah.
It's us and only us. And like you're saying, you get around the right people, they're gonna let you know that, but they're gonna lift you up on the way up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I really hate to be like, like hopping around stuff.
No, I love it, man. Yeah.
There's just so much stuff that happened within that time, and right after my wife finished college, and we started getting stuff ready for the wedding because we had been engaged for about 2 years. I was 334 pounds.
Wow.
And and this was about 4 or 5 years after.
And how tall are you, just for the people?
I'm about
on the audio.
6'1.5". I mean 6'1" with some big shoes on. But in high school, I played football, I did wrestling and track and field.
Okay.
I know both of you guys' backgrounds listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I was a wrestling participant. I was never introduced to the lifestyle till later on. And but once I was, though, I was just blown away by the level of commitment. You know what I mean? I mean, sports are a really big thing in my life. Me and Corey, talked so much about it. And there's a special place in my heart for wrestling because if you meet somebody, you can feel it on them from the moment that you meet them. You're like, oh wow, you've been there.
Yeah.
But
I think wrestling and football in different ways teach you so much.
Yeah.
Football is team sport, right?
Yeah.
Wrestling, you're all on your own, but the discipline taken for both of those, it's incredible.
And being able to have like short memory, like that's stuck with me forever. Like you get your ass kicked on playing football, you get burnt or something. Short memory, it's gone. It's a new play. As soon as you carry that over to the next play, you lost already before they even whistle, before the snap was even done.
Yeah.
So man, I couldn't agree with you more. And that's from junior high.
Yeah.
Like short memory, Teague. Short memory. Shit happened today. Boom. Okay, short memory. I'm gone. Let's forget it. Move forward. Control what I can control.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
For sure.
Tell me more though. Tell me more.
In wrestling, I wrestled heavyweights.
Okay.
At that time, I was like 315.
Okay.
So in high school, when I graduated, I was 315, and then I probably put on another 15 to 20 within those years afterwards. And man, that was a lot of making excuses for myself.
Yeah.
Just wanting to. I was a really big personality that like had a lot of say so within a lot of groups.
Yeah.
And I never wanted the party to end. I wanted to to freaking drink more. Hey, look, let's all pitch in for some more beer.
Right.
Let's go. It's 3 a.m. Let's go to the only spot open, which is usually somewhere that isn't good.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took those 3 to 4 years until things started to fade away, and those people that are with you, all the time in high school start to slowly drift off, and the people that are left with you are left to accommodate with what you have created.
Right.
And man, we had planned for the wedding, and I can specifically think back to the day. It was about a year, so it was like mid-September because me and my wife got married in September, and we had planned the venue and we're doing this stuff. And I just woke up and I kind of like looked in the mirror and was like, man, is this the way that I want to be looked at?
Wow.
Yeah, and I kind of told it to my wife, joking. I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna lose some weight. And she's extremely active. She in high school, she used to swim, and she was a lifeguard, and she loves to run. And I had noticed that, the type of lifestyle that I was living, I was bringing her down.
Wow.
I didn't want to do anything outside. I was working a lot. I was trying to, support her, and I created these crutches in my life.
Yeah.
And I just felt disgusted.
Yeah. Wow.
Was just done with it.
Right.
So I told myself, and this is me never attempting to lose weight.
Yeah.
I didn't have to lose weight to do wrestling because I was heavyweights.
Right.
I could wrestle at anything I wanted, and I was this big guy, and I really enjoyed being the big guy at that time because that was my identity.
Right.
That's Frank, man. That's Big Frank.
Yeah.
And that just kind of created this persona of another crutch. Well,
you gotta
that's
stay
who
good
I am,
friends.
man.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be when you go out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just got done watching this psychology video on
Uh-huh.
a guy named Carl Jung. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a famous psychologist, but he's a badass, and he said that same type of thing. And there's a video with like a mask. It's like every time you walk out of the door and you go into a certain area, you have to put who you're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
And so you have to act in a certain way to create and continue to have that identity.
Yeah.
But it's not who you are. But the more time you spend in that mask, basically, or in that identity, you start to believe, okay, well, this is really who I am. And if it's not, though, if it's just a mask that you've been putting on the whole time, then it's like you get depressed because this isn't really who you were, but that was the mask you had on, and it's not who you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
so the real you
really show people.
Yeah, and so the real you is fighting this mask, and you can't even be at ease because you're not at ease with yourself.
Yeah.
Man, keep going. Tell me more. I was getting stuck, right?
So, just I kind of woke up that morning and I looked in the mirror and, I kind of took off my shirt and I took a picture of it, and I got a picture of it and I'll show it to you guys in camera, at the store and stuff. And man, I was just like, man, like, what have you done? Right? Like, at what expense what you've created, and then I just started to kind of try to outsource information, and then to look at, like, how many calories do I burn by not doing anything? And then how many calories am I putting in my body? And, if things were extremely simple, as far as, diet, which I'm going to get into that because, I mean, this has now been, a 5-year, journey.
Right.
And now I'm, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's 130. And I was
that's
able.
A whole person.
Yeah. It's insanity.
That's cool. Yeah. It really is.
And I was able to drop exactly 100 pounds in 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I will be the first to admit, I will not, sugarcoat anything. Like a lot of that was just so obsessed with it that I kind of got that like wrestling mentality where I was putting on trash bags and, sitting in the sauna. But I mean, it's important to be like accountable and know that, the mistakes that you made in the past that had a positive outcome in the end, but that was something that you had to learn later on.
Right.
Like, that's not healthy. To be obsessed over achieving some type of goal, whether that be weight or money, for what you're sacrificing.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend that to any person.
Yeah.
Unless it's, unless you're trying to wrestle or, some short term, but I mean, that won't work
it's not sustainable.
Yes.
To get negatively obsessed.
Yes. And I did, for a certain point there, because, man, as soon as you start to see pounds come off, and as soon as you start to look in the mirror, it's infectious. You feel so good that, man, I'm achieving something on my own.
Right.
Because you can't outsource it. You can get surgeries and certain things like that, but you can't outsource work.
You can do the work.
One of my
man, I love that.
One of my
outsource work. I love that.
One of my all-time favorite. It's not a quote, but it's a story.
Yeah.
The guy who tattooed The Rock.
Okay.
On his arm.
Yeah.
He had that super small bullet, and now he's got that big one. The Rock has insane amount of money in very little time.
Right.
But he still had to sit in that chair for 12 hours.
Yeah.
He had to earn it. And when people ask me about losing weight or getting strength or having skills, I say, man, at the end of the day, you still have to earn it.
Yes.
And and since then, I've been able to live a very healthy lifestyle, but I had to earn it.
Yeah.
I had to put in the time because I mean, if you look at people that have lost a massive amount of weight like that, they usually always put it back on because they achieve something and then they just let it go.
Right.
And I realized the impact that had on my wife, my mom, and my family, and not having a dad, I never realized the severity of being the man of the house, or being, you know, if you are a single mom, or if you're in a relationship, you know, being the mother of the house. And within that time, my wife lost 70 pounds, and she didn't even plan on it. It was because I was so infectious.
Yeah.
And you know, we got married, man. I was in the best shape of my life. I was 230 pounds, and I hadn't even turned 30 pounds since I was a freshman in high school.
Wow. And just like you said, though, you really earned that. Like, everything we do, we pay a price for it. It costs something. If I allow myself to gain that weight, I paid the cost of, I was eating, and I paid the cost to sit and relax and enjoy. And I paid the cost the easy way, so it's going to be harder later. Instead of making it hard now and it gets easier later. It's like either way, you're gonna go on one path, and you're gonna pay the cost, where it's easy now, hard later, or hard now, easy later. But either way, you got to pay the cost.
100%.
And most of the time, it's just that decision of what cost do I want to pay, and what am I willing to put forth in order to make it happen. If people would realize, like, I used to think that, man, the easy way out is sometimes the way to go. Well, this is going to be a little easier, maybe even an easier workout. The easier workout might be the way to go, or the easier path on a work assignment, of whether it be schooling or whatever. Well, let's just knock it out. Let's get it done. I might get a C, but it'll be done. The easier way might be the way to go. And then little did you know, though, if you would have, and so you're always trying to take the easy way. And little did I know, until I started to do hard things. It's like, holy shit, the harder things that I do, it's almost like you get calloused, just like on your hands. Your hands get calloused when you start working out, and your hands don't hurt as much. It's easier to work out. Your mental toughness and your capability starts getting calloused and hardened, and next thing you know, you can do all these hard things, and everything else gets easier. It's like, if you just realize going through the hard door is going to make everything easier, everybody would do it. But everybody thinks, well, and I was the way too. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe I could cheat a little here. Maybe I could slip a little here. And then it started biting me in the ass. And then same thing. It's like, okay, if we can just train ourselves to do the hard thing, do the right thing the first time, the right way. You'll never be disappointed. You'll 100%. Never have to regret anything. You'll be right on the money.
Man.
Be accomplishing things like Frank here.
Man. And, you know, I really hope that, you know, that a lot of people, you know, that do struggle with some type of, you know, whether it's a lot of weight or a little bit of weight, man. It's like you said, you fail. You know, you try everything, and that's one of my big fights right now. And you know, I don't have like a social media page where I'm like some type of influencer, because I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm a testament to someone who just kept trying. You know, who kept showing up. You know, and I tell people all the time. And I see a lot of people at the gym and stuff, and you know, they'll ask me questions. You know, and I'll be like, yeah, you know, I used to weigh 324 pounds. And they're like, holy, you know, that's a lot, man. Like, what'd you do? I said, I did everything. I'm still doing everything. So, you know, I mean, man, it's so easy now to get so consumed with being a part of some type of tribe. You know, whether it's, you know, well, I'm doing keto, or well, I'm doing vegan, you know, or I'm doing this. And then I can tell people flat out that they all work for short-term success. You know what I mean? Anything that is going to restrict your calories and you're going to be burning more than you're putting in, you know, it's going to work. And, you know, it's just, I love that there are a few people out there that are giving out real information on podcasts and not selling you something. You know, oh, well, you know, well, you can get your results if you buy this. It's like, no, man, all that stuff can be done with Whole Foods and work.
Exactly.
You know, because that's how I got mine. You know,
long term too.
And I mean, it's something still to this day that I still fight with. Every single day. You know, it never ends. You know, I mean,
you never just make it. You don't just make it.
Experiment. You know, I mean, after I lost the 100 pounds and I was 230, I wanted to put back on 15 and get strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
15 like lean muscle.
Yeah. You know, and I did that because I mean, I'm not sure if I'm breaking news here. There's no way you can lose weight and get stronger. It's not gonna happen. You know, you can't lose mass to movement. You know, mass, and you can't spot reduce. You know, you can do as many.
You can't spot burn fat. Like,
you know, you can do a bunch of sit-ups, but sit-ups build muscle in your stomach.
right.
It doesn't take away you know, muscle. So I wanted to experiment, you know, so I put on 15 pounds and I got, you know, strong, but I didn't enjoy working out. You know what I mean? I built up this kind of level of enjoyment with going to the gym and putting in the time, putting in that type of, you know, that like sweating, you know, like, man,
I exerted myself.
Yeah. And, you know, and still to this day, I'm going to try anything, because that's what has become the ultimate goal with trying to become healthy is I want to be able to participate in anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because before, a lot of my friends and family would have to cater to how big I was.
Yeah.
You know, oh, well, can we go on that hike because of Frank?
Gotcha.
You know, can we go to, you know, Six Flags Magic Mountain because of Frank? He might be able to fit. Yeah. You know, and you know, there's a lot of people that have that feeling, but they're really insecure.
Yeah.
To say it.
Right.
And man, I can tell you, it's a horrible feeling to, you know, because I mean, I'm a grown man.
Right.
You know, and to have to deal with those insecurities, you know, and it came to a point to think like, I'm gonna have a family, man.
Yeah.
You know, and if my kids don't look at me as this, you know, sense of strength, you know, sense of someone that they can depend on, but no, it's now I have to think, you know, can my dad do this? Will he want, to do this? And now that I have a daughter and I'm able to do everything with her, you know, it just makes me so happy.
Well, you need to stay healthy too, so you stay around.
Yeah, man. You know, that's like the most important thing, you know, in my journey. You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a bunch of books too.
Yeah,
you know,
my God, that's what I'm talking about.
And you know, it's all mentality, man. You know, and I know that is what you guys, you know, here to talk about, and I love that, man, because you know, like I'll share one thing with how to build a strong diet. I mean, and it's funny, it actually doesn't even have anything to really do with diet. His name's Sal Frisella. Have you heard of him?
Okay, I believe so. Yes.
He's successful with he has like hundreds of small businesses that he helps out, and he has a podcast, a very famous podcast. And he was basically talking about how he was able to hold his employees accountable, and he built these certain pillars, these three pillars of how to hold somebody accountable.
Yeah.
And it's setting some type of like standard, a expectation, and a time frame.
Yeah.
And that's how he was able to hold employees accountable. You know, whether they're your friends, not your friends, someone you care about, someone that you want to help out. At the end of the day, you need something from them, so we can cut out all of the BS.
Yeah.
You know, hey,
skip the bullshit. Let's get
this
down
is
to the core.
what it is. And I don't know why that hit home with me, because at the end of the day, you and your relationship with your body is a business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, it feels good to be friends with yourself and to listen to that inner voice of, man, I want to just do what I want. But yourself and have that one-on-one meeting that you would have with your employee. Like, hey, man, don't forget the standard that I set for you, the expectation, and the time frame.
Holy shit, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I tell people all the time, people are like, oh, you know, I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm not sure what to eat.
Right.
I said, man, you know, you have to set the standard.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, what do you want to build your health like around, because I'm not going to tell you because I don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
you're the one who has to sit down and has to do these things, set expectations for yourself. And if you can't be a self-starter, there are programs out there, but you're not going to do that program forever, man.
Right.
You know, they're not going to hold your hand forever.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been lucky enough that if I want something bad enough, I'll do it.
Yeah. Go to the ends of the earth.
And I mean, you know, still to this day, I mean, I do have a very obsessive type of personality when it comes to food, because I've seen how far that it's taken me, and I now I just can't. I can't sit there and put things into my body and let my family put things in their body when I know it's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Man, I want to go back to something you just said though too, that it just really resonated with me. It's like, it feels good, and you have to be able to be a friend with yourself. And it's like, holy shit. And it goes back to that persona thing again. It's like, all of a sudden, if you create that identity of who you think you have to be, that mask that you're putting on may not be your friend.
Yep.
That's like, how many people aren't friends with themselves? And it might not just be somebody that's heavier than they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, but it could be somebody that's, they may have like a perfect physique, look like somebody carved them out of stone.
Yeah.
But they go into a room and their mind isn't right. And they put themselves below everybody. And now they're enemies with themselves again. It's like, holy shit, how many people are going through life right now and they're not friends with themselves? That's the most important person you got to be a friend with. And especially today, it's so weird, because I'm seeing, especially the younger generations, if you don't have, it's like people get, there's a lot of depression and anxiety and stuff are on the rise. And it's because, in my opinion, of course, that people aren't getting fulfilled with who they are. They're not okay with who they are, and they can't accept themselves, so they have to look for it in other people, or they have to look for it in social media. There's your dopamine hit on social media. There's your dopamine hit on drugs. There's your dopamine hit on getting in a room full of people who are like you, but may not be doing the right things that you want to do, but you feel comfortable there, so it's okay. So it's a safe zone. And it's like, wow, I love that. I'm gonna steal that if that's okay. You gotta start being a friend with yourself.
Of course, man. That's like the most important thing, is like setting those expectations for yourself, and to you know, piggyback off of that, and to get back to the original question, how did I end up in Utah?
It was good.
After my wife had my daughter, man, I was searching for a career. You know, I was like, man, you know, I've been working at the mill. I've had a bunch of jobs. And stuff, and you know, I'm like, man, I'm looking for something. You know?
Right.
And I come from Colton, California, which is known for having I think the second or third biggest railroad yard in the whole entire U.S. So trains have always been a big thing. I've never been a train guy, even as a kid and stuff. So I just submitted a application to the Union Pacific, and just to see, you know, what would happen.
Right.
I received an email back, said that they were interested. They wanted a little bit of information. Didn't even tell my wife, and I actually applied to the position in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I didn't say anything because I'm like, man, you know, like, this is an amazing job.
Right.
That is extremely hard to get, and it's a total lifestyle change. You know, I was going to try anything.
Go out on them. Why not?
So they just basically wrote back, and they said that they were interested. Do you think you could be out here next Monday for an interview?
So
I told,
in Vegas? Okay. 3 hours away.
So I told my wife, and you know, at that point she had quit her job, and she was staying home with my daughter. And you know, at that point, me and her were just willing to do anything it took. She's like, you know, do it. You know?
That's a ride or die. I love that.
Man. And I went out there, and I freaking killed the freaking interview. You know, because I was just me. I was off the cuff. You know, pre-sorted, you know, things. Which I'm not saying people shouldn't do that. You know, people should prepare for interviews, but when it comes to certain things in life, you have to be you. You know, because it will resonate with certain people. And just so happens, guy interviewed me was my boss, and he just liked it. You know, I told him flat out, man. I said, man, I'm drowning, and I'm looking for a way out.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, man, let's do it. You know.
Yes.
And then he just gave me the full spiel of what, you know, work would be like. He said it's going to be like nothing you've ever done.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to hurt your family, but you know what? You're going to be able to take care of your family. I was like, all right, you know, let's do it. And then boom, got the offer. Things started moving fast, and I went to the interview in June.
Okay.
And I was living in Vegas in September.
Wow. What part of Vegas? I was living in
Summerlin.
Hey, my guy. Yeah, that's what I'm
man.
talking about.
Yeah, and you know, I went to training for 3 months, and just got all this information. You know, all the safety stuff, all the, you know, work stuff, and then boom, I started working, and man, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you right now, I'm that type of guy where I'm the first one to show up and the last one to leave.
Right.
And I love working.
Yeah.
I can work, you know, my tail off.
Yeah.
In the gym, at work, everywhere.
Right.
You can't break me because I already broke
Yes.
myself.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm
But,
loving this, brother.
But yeah, man, I was spending 15 nights a month in a hotel.
Wow.
And my daughter had just turned 1.
Yeah.
And it was a lot on my wife, and it was a lot on me. But man, when those paychecks started coming in, I was like, okay,
right,
you know, cool. And you know, and then things started, you know, started to, you know, slow down. And part of the whole part of working for them is that if you can't work in Las Vegas, there's other places you can work.
Yeah.
There's a whole service unit, and it basically goes from Las Vegas all the way up here to Ogden.
Yeah.
So as soon as things slowed down, man, I just, you know, packed up the car. You know, I would rent out Airbnbs and like different hotels for the night, and you know, just trying, you know, to work, you know, and just hoping things would pick up so I'd be able to go home. So the most I spent away from my family is 1 month. Right. Which is extremely hard when that's your core, man.
Right.
You know, like that's everything. And then finally, basically, work had basically pushed me up all the way up here to Ogden, and I came up here with a friend of mine from work. His name's Chris. He's a really good friend of mine, and we came up here, and I worked up here for that month, and I stayed at an Airbnb up there by the college. What's it called? River State. Yeah. And I met some like really good, you know, people up there.
Yeah.
And things were expensive in Las Vegas. It was starting to get, you know, summertime.
Right.
And I basically convinced the wife. I'm like, you know, I think we should move out here, you know, to Utah, to Ogden. It's on a whole different thing that I've never experienced before.
Right.
She had never, you know, experienced it before. And I was like, man, these people up here are real nice.
Yeah.
You know, like I was used to California and Las Vegas,
you
know, which I'm sure you've experienced it too, you know. And man, I met this guy Ron. You know, he was training me up here on trips, and you know, he has a couple properties out here, and you know, he's like, I told him what I was trying to do, and he's like, yeah, man, I got this place, you know, and I'll just, you know, I'll rent it off for you for this price, and don't worry about a deposit and nothing like that.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
I had never really experienced anything like that, you know. Ever since I had left home and went on my own, I'd experienced a lot of setbacks because of, you know, basically, you know, having to go through some type of third party, you know, to live,
right?
You know, and learning those lessons. And then here, you know, I just met a lot of people who were willing to help.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
So
no, that really is cool, because it's weird. It's like they're everywhere. The people that are willing to help, they are everywhere. Like, are your thoughts right to be able to get in that realm? And then again too, like, is today your interview?
Yeah.
And were you ready?
Yeah.
And again, were you being you?
Yeah.
And when you were being you, were you friends with yourself on that day, or were you enemies with yourself? Because if you're enemies with yourself, you might have got fired before you even knew you were in the interview. You know? And so those setbacks might come again because you weren't we're ready to have the open arms for the good things to,
Yeah,
to start
yeah.
coming.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Yeah, and I mean everything. Everything I feel like translates to what I was saying, or earlier is just, man, you have to have those talks with yourself and set that standard with everything. I make sure that if I'm at work or if I'm at the store that I have a certain persona, because like you said, you don't know what that moment in time what should transpire.
Right.
I mean, I know for a fact that I was supposed to be here because there was a certain way that I was acting around him, certain way that he was acting around me, and just things clicked, man.
Yep.
So basically, came up here to Ogden, man, and it's how fate would have it. The very day that we moved in, I got the call from work that I was furloughed.
Wow.
And I wasn't gonna have any more work.
Blessing in disguise. But wild,
man. Yeah.
Losing everything right out of the gate.
Yeah, and having to look my wife in the face that had just went through like a whole month of packing up everything back home on her own.
Yeah.
My mom flew up, and it was like, man, we're moved to Ogden and have this new beginning.
Right.
I'm gonna be making money up here. It's a lot cheaper up here. Man, like, and people up here are nice places. You can raise a family. And man, it's how fate would have it, man. The very next day, I got that call.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
Right.
Yeah.
And what conversation? Because everybody must have been in a panic.
Yeah.
What conversation did you have to have with yourself at that point to say, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it either way, no matter what"?
Man, I specifically can think about it. My wife she had been going through a lot, so I told her, hey, if you want to, go to Starbucks or something, and just have some time alone. I want to be here with our
little one,
with our daughter. And man, I just looked at her eyes and started crying.
Yeah,
because
you're making me start crying. I don't know how it gets.
I tell you right now, this doesn't define us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Right.
And literally the very next day, and you know what, man? I'm nothing without my daughter and my wife because they are so persistent.
Wow.
There was never even a conversation or thought of, well, maybe we should head back home. Maybe I should hit up, my mom's like, stay with her and stuff, like that. It was like, no, you know what? We're going to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Something will come up.
Right. We're going to make it. And, man, I started applying places, and I worked at a restaurant for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I had pretty good restaurant, experience.
Yeah.
So my wife, she took courses in college on how to write people's resumes. She's done on my resume. She's excellent.
Yeah.
With that stuff. If there's anyone out there who's out with a resume, she loves how people, she worked for the child support department. So that's all she did all day is how can people get through something catastrophic.
Right.
That, and she has a true talent for that. Okay, you know what? It may seem like there's no options, but it starts with tomorrow.
Right.
It starts with, hey, you have to wake up early. You got to head down to the library. If you don't have a computer, there are resources.
Yeah.
There is help out there,
right.
But you have to want it. And man, I can tell you right now, I'm nothing without her. Like me doing this podcast. I had second thoughts. I was like, I don't know if I want to go on there and talk. And people want to hear from me, but she was like, no, do it.
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so much can come from it, or nothing can come from it. And hey,
you're not out anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and man, the very next day we went down to the library. Started started typing up the resume, getting it updated, and I started walking down 25th Street in Ogden.
Yeah.
To every store, boom, passing out. And there's a pizza shop right there. It's off of
Lucky Slice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I just walked in there, man, and I asked to speak to the owner. And I was like, hey, man, this is my story. And boom, I started talking. Started just telling him everything that I'd been through, everything that I had learned, and everything that I was willing to give.
Yeah.
And he hired me right there. It was like, boom.
Nice.
let's go.
Yeah.
And I worked there for about a month and a half, and then I got the call from the post office, and then I started working at the post office, and I'm currently working there, and man, it's just it's trying to have that level of persistence within yourself when things like that hit.
Right.
Because you don't know.
Right. And especially when you're down. It's like when you're down, you don't want to walk down 25th Street and knock on every door and say, hey, I'm out, but I need something. But this is what I'm worth. Yeah. I'm worth something.
Yeah.
Man, but out of necessity, sometimes that's the best thing that can possibly happen to you is something catastrophic, because it puts you in a zone where you're so uncomfortable. Out of necessity, you're going the extra mile, because it's so easy to get comfortable. It's so easy to get comfortable and be like, well, you know what, not today. Not today. And well, maybe I want this result, but maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't.
I don't want to work for it.
Man, but when your back's against the wall, you don't have anything left. Like, it's do or die. Magic happens.
Yeah, man, and I can say that I'm extremely lucky to have my wife, who she agrees with the same philosophy as me, which is, if we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it on our own merit, and if we fail, we fail on our own merit.
Right.
And that's something that I can say that I'm proud of everything that I've accomplished. I've gotten help.
Yeah.
But there's no one that held my hand to it. I showed up. You know what I mean?
And like you said earlier, you earned it.
Yeah, man.
You paid the cost. And as soon as you pay the cost, it matches itself.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And if there's advice that I can give that has always worked for me, is I don't ever try and paint myself out to be an expert in anything that I'm not an expert in.
Right.
That I cannot say without any doubts in my mind that I can guarantee. And that's something that, helped me at the post office, helped me at Lucky Slice, helped me with working, as a train conductor, helped me with working in the mill, which is, I can guarantee you that I will be here.
Yeah.
I'll be here on time. I'll be the last person to leave, and I will always, volunteer first in line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's something that has always been in me. And you have to play to your strengths and refine what you're weak at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if you don't have the time to refine what you're weak at, bring in somebody who that's their strength.
Yeah.
Bring them in.
Man, I listen to podcasts all day long at work, man. It is the greatest resource that I think that we have, today, is this type of open conversation. I was listening to your guys' most recent podcast on episode 50, and I forget who it was, but he was talking about how he was having problems in school.
Yeah, it was Denby probably.
Yeah. There you go. And that really hit home with me, because I'm sure everyone noticed I do have this speech impediment. I have a stutter. I've had it my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Since the day I started talking.
Wow.
They said, he does have a severe speech impediment. He does have a stutter. And, same thing with me that he went through. Really? They put me in a separate class, said that, I didn't learn the same.
Yeah.
And it was hard, because my dad has it too. And it's not like hereditary.
Yeah.
It's not passed on.
Wow.
So the chances that he had it, the same exact thing, it wasn't a lisp, it wasn't a stammer.
Yeah.
It was a severe stutter.
Yeah.
And I had it too.
Huh.
And man, once he was talking about all those feelings and, and trying to prove that, no, I'm smart enough.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can't speak in front of a class. I'm stuttering and I'm talking here.
Yeah, right. And
you're talking in front of a microphone.
Yep.
And it's because, like you said, I play to my strengths. I'm confident in what I'm confident in.
Right.
And if I'm not in it, then I'm gonna learn about it.
Yeah.
And become better at it.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like I said, man, if there is anyone out there who is listening to this that has speech impediment or that deals with weight, man, there's so many people out there that are willing to help. I didn't think that listening to a podcast with someone that has millions of followers would answer my direct message of just showing gratitude. Like, hey man, I've been listening to your podcast for over a year. It's changed my life. Thank you. And they will respond.
Yeah.
You know, because every person that does things like this is trying to help people. You know, and you don't know if just reaching out and telling them, hey man, what you're doing is helping, might push them to the next level.
Truly.
You know, I reached out to, you know, Corey and said, hey man, I've been listening, and man, it's been really like, you know, like hitting home. It's been really, you know, like hitting home. And man, I think you guys, because you know, it takes a lot, man.
You know, like I said before, you don't know who's listening. I mean, we don't know who's listening.
Right.
But you're proof that there's people out there that are digging what we're throwing out there.
Yeah, man.
And it's important. And I want to kind of piggyback off what you said. Like, this guy has 1 million followers that he reached out to, he DM'd, and he responded back. And these people, I seen this quote today. It's like, you want busy people in your life. It's like, you want to go after busy people, not because you separate yourself from them and you put them on a pedestal, but because these busy people are getting things done. They're committed. They're working on something. They're working towards something. Like, busy people are the people you want to associate yourself with, because they're going to be busy on getting better. And nobody that's going to be doing nobody doing more than you is ever going to criticize you.
Right.
If you're on your path up. It's like the people in the gym. It's funny. I actually had this conversation with a guy at my work today. He was, I think he was sitting at 245 or so.
Okay.
Now he's down to 215.
Okay.
He's working on some stuff right now.
Okay.
And this was just been since August. So just a couple months, you know, he's been working hard, getting after it. His boy wrestles in high school, and so it's like, it's that same thing too. He's like, man, I gotta be able to make sure my boy knows his boss, as he gets into high school age. But he was saying that if you're able to put the work in, and man, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going? Right before I mentioned my buddy at work. What was I just saying? Damn. Oh,
I think you were talking about how he used to be 245 and now he's 215. And
yeah, he dropped the weight. But we were talking about something today. Shit, what were we talking about? Where, man, this is killing me.
You're trying to piggyback on something he said.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on because it's gonna
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll come back to me. Oh, just we're talking. This is what it is. Thank you. Where when you see, he's like, man, I like seeing, because when he goes to the gym, he's like, I like seeing old people. It's like, if I see an old person there, it's like, man, if this guy can make it, a part of his daily regimen to get here, it's like, why can't I? What excuses am I making for myself if I can't? And I told him right back, I was like, one of my favorite things is seeing a heavy set person where you can tell it's just like their first couple times in the routine, because they're making big energy moves, to mental energy and confidence energy to get into that gym, because like you said, they have to battle the insecurities first off before they even get there. And then they have to start doing it, and so without being embarrassed and like knowing that they're competing with only themselves. I love seeing heavy set people in the gym working hard. Like, I always try to compliment them if I can, and I think they're the baddest man in the room. Like, I think they're the toughest, most badass person in the gym, because they're working harder than 95% of the people that are veterans that have been there for years, because they got comfortable. And they're in the uncomfortable stage. But if we could continue to stay in that uncomfortable zone, it's like there's the people who are making fun of, well, man, oh man, he looks funny, he's doing the wrong technique. Well, maybe his body isn't allowing him to yet, because he has to shed some weight to get down to where everything's moving correctly. And it's like, nobody's gonna make fun of those people who are working harder. Nobody. Because they know what it's like to start. It's like a train, man. It takes so much, man. I heard this from a multimillionaire, Randy Haugen, one time. He said, it's like a train. Momentum is a real thing. Momentum's a real thing. As soon as you start to push the train, it takes so much energy. It takes everything you got. You're pushing everything you got. And it's going barely a little bit. It's going slow. It's going slow. The train wheel starts moving. And then eventually it starts going so fast it can't even be stopped anymore. and it doesn't even have to. The gas doesn't have to be pushed so much because it's just going. But you got the moment. You got Big Mo behind you now.
Yeah.
It's moving. Nothing can stop it.
Man, I tell you right now, man. I think back to when I was 334 pounds.
Yeah.
And my wife would beg me to go on a walk with her on the block.
Wow.
And I'd be like, man, I freaking worked all day, man. My feet hurt. I just want to watch a game and drink beer.
Yeah.
And that was me.
Yeah.
And then to see where I am now, I mean, me and my wife do freaking CrossFit.
Yeah.
If you would have told me at that weight that, hey, man, you're gonna do CrossFit. And I mean, people have their opinions of CrossFit. I don't call myself a CrossFit.
Right.
Because I'm not. I'm a CrossFit participant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a wrestling participant. But having the drive to challenge myself, it's like you said, it's that momentum.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to get back to that.
Yeah, you don't want to go back.
Mindset.
Right.
Ever.
And no, I do like CrossFit, honestly, just because you are pushing yourself to the extreme.
Yeah. And then too, it's one of the most infectious, group of people that you don't meet.
Because everybody wants each other to win. Everybody's going through the suck together.
Yeah.
Everybody's embracing the grind, and it's shitty. Like that's what I love about team sports too, though, is in like summer camps when you're conditioning each other. Everybody's dying. And if you look over, you see somebody folding, but you're strong. It's like, no, we're doing this together.
Yeah,
we're dying. We're gonna die together. And then you look over to your left, and you see the guy still winning. You're like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. So you have both sides to it, and it's like it's a necessity.
Yes,
it's a necessity.
Yes, and man, I've been doing CrossFit, lately because it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I do miss it, but I go to the gym, and I am lucky enough that I still have that mentality where I take that same savageness, and I apply it there, and people will give you the looks, and when you're slamming the weights, and you're doing burpees, and you're swinging kettlebells, but man, you got to block it out because that gym is a tool for your sanity.
Exactly.
And for what you're trying, to do. And there's a lot of people there that don't use the gym for that. They're using it for other things.
Maybe a social scene.
Acceptance, I'm not going in there trying to do anything, but to destroy myself so I can rebuild it into what I want.
Right. I got this other manager in my work as well, same type of thing. And he's working to get into some powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been more of like a skinnier type guy, but he's been putting work in and putting lean weight on. He's looking fantastic because of what he's put in. He paid the cost.
Yeah.
But we went and worked out the other day, and we were doing deadlifts, and we're starting to get heavy on the deadlifts. And he started watching me because I talked to myself all day long, like anybody can do one more rep, anybody can do 10 reps. Like just getting in my head, it's like I know half the people wouldn't be able to, but somebody could, and if that person can, I can. So I'm always tricking myself and anybody can do this. This is lightweight. I'm always talking to myself. And he said at the beginning it was kind of weird, and then he started seeing me do it more, and it's looking around like, oh shit, I can just be me and not worry about what anybody else thinks. And then he's like, as soon as I started doing, he said he went to the gym the next day, he started talking to himself, and somebody was looking at him. He's like, yeah, somebody looked at me, but I guarantee you I was lifting 2 times more weight than that guy was. And it's like, that's what it's about. It's like, you're not there for anybody else.
No, I'm not.
You're there for you. And again, it's whether they're judging you if you're old, whether they're judging you if you have much extra weight, judging you, they're judging you because you're busting ass. It's like, that's on them. That's on them. How are you judging you? Are you friends with yourself that day?
Yeah.
Man,
you tricked me into doing that when we did squats that one day.
Yeah.
Anyone can do 3 sets.
Yeah.
We did 10.
Man. Yeah.
100 freaking squats
Man,
now.
Yep.
Man, I think like a lot of it, man, for me is I love to be able to just jump into any workout and just get after it. I might not beat you out, but I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be me.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be scared.
Yeah.
And man, I tell people all the time. They ask me, man, like, how do you just start? And I'm like, you start tomorrow. Just start. Like, I don't care if you go online and look up some cookie cutter arm workout from freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger that we all know that he didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, he just wrote, someone that works for him, wrote that. Just go in there and do that, and the next day, look up something for chest, look up something for legs, and then do that for a month and see how you feel.
And in today's day and age, you can just follow all kinds of people on Instagram, and you could learn new weight, new everything every day.
Or you could just
on your free time
and watch what someone does.
There you go. Yeah. Because I mean, and then too, even with like food, like how much protein, should I be eating? Like how many carbs, like, or should I be having any carbs? It's like, man, every person has a different starting point.
Yeah, right.
You might want to put on 15 pounds, and he might want to lose 15 pounds.
Right.
It's not going to be the same, key to success.
Right.
Some people hold on, to more water than other people. I know that for me, being a bigger male.
Yeah.
And if it's a bigger male in particular that asks me questions, I tell them, flat out. I said, you're probably like me, where you deal with eating things that make your body inflamed.
Yes.
And that's where the whole thing of eating low carb started from, because there are a lot of processed carbs that cause your body to be inflamed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's a part of your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I eat carbs now, you know what I mean? But I had to repair my own health, of constantly feeding myself junk, which I mean, most of it was drinking a lot of alcohol, which is the worst type of carbs that you can get, and then just listening to podcasts and getting as much information as I can to understand how food affects your body,
right.
How it makes you feel, what it does to you, why I'm feeling this way. Every type of diet has some type of scientific proof behind it on why it works and why it makes you feel a certain type of way. But that's a short-term experiment.
Right.
What's
going to be the marathon?
Yeah. And to me, I have 3 simple rules now when it comes to my food. Is it all, can it be identified as a single thing? That is a cashew, that is a potato, that's broccoli.
Right.
Is it a green vegetable? And then did it have a face?
Right.
And I mean, you know what? I know there's so many things out there, that are going to just give you this wave of information.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, man, that guy looks jacked. I'm going to be jacked like that guy. Yeah, you know what? It is a possibility, but how much work is he, putting in? Yeah. Is it realistic to your goals? Is it something that you can do every day? Is it something that you can do on that trip that you're taking to Thanksgiving back home? You know what I mean? I know that that's something that I can do at the airport. I know back when I was working as a train conductor, and I'm taking these trips, to these small towns that have, shitty restaurants. Yeah. I can go to a gas station and get a bag of cashews.
Right.
And you know what? I may not get a full meal, but I can eat, some fruit and some, cashews, and these are whole foods. I don't have to sacrifice, but you have to be willing to pick things that you stand upon. Yeah. This is what I believe works for me, and that I can achieve. If you can't get home and have that special scoop of magic protein, right? Is that going to define your day?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that the red tape between failure and success?
Right.
And those are the type of conversations I think people need to have with long-term success and long-term health.
Right.
Because it's so easy to look through social media and to look through YouTube and think, man, I have to do what that person's doing.
Right.
And I mean, you can use it as a tool. You can read a book, you can listen to a podcast, but that plan that you're coming up with is not going to be etched on your stone when you die.
Yep. 100%.
You know, I mean, it's the same thing for the gym. You know, how much you squat and how much you bench and how much you deadlift. I pray it isn't etched on your gravestone because you're more than that.
Exactly.
But it's a tool to make you who you are,
to create what I want to be.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all a tool. You know, it's never going to fully define you.
Yeah.
But you do have to step out and make certain choices to how to build your life.
Right.
You know,
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. I tell you what, Frank, I'm so thankful you were able to come on with us, man.
Yeah, man,
and
for sure.
meet you as well,
Yeah.
more than anything, because I'm excited to see what paths are going to cross again as we start talking more and more. But before we wrap up, do you have any last gold nuggets to kind of share with the audience?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of there's a lot of information out there. Just be extremely selective with what you decide to listen to, and you know, make sure to fact check. You know, I mean, there are facts out there. If anybody, you know, wants to, you know, ask me, I'll make sure to get with these guys and give them my information.
Yeah, what's you got Instagram or social media?
I got Instagram. It's my so it's spelled LEMUS and then underscore and then family. So FAMILY.
So Lemus family.
Yeah.
LEMUS underscore family.
Yeah, and you can hit me up, and if you guys got questions, or if you guys want to go and catch a workout, or just, you know, if you just want to, you know, talk more, because, you know, something I said, you know, hit home, man. I'm willing to talk.
Awesome.
You know.
Man, you're a stud, man. That's
and then too, if there's anyone out there listening to this, you guys need to reach out to them and tell them that they're doing a great job, because this all wouldn't happen.
Man.
You know, them two are great people, man.
I'm thankful for you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
More than you know. And Corey, before I say my last words, you got any gold nuggets?
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is a really, really good one.
Amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. We're blessed, man. Thank you so much. I just want to piggyback. My last words is what you said, man. Make sure you're becoming a friend with yourself. More than anything, be a friend with yourself, because if you are an enemy with yourself, man, it's going to be a rough gig. And it's only going to, if you keep that momentum in that direction, it might only get worse. So be a friend with yourself. And as always, guys, coming to you raw.
Boom.